Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Business as a Magical Practice. I am here again with my lovely friend, astrologer, all the things, Robin Langford. And she's going to be going through full astrology of 2023. If you listened to our episode last year in 2022, then you know how valuable this next 45 minutes to an hour, we'll see how long it goes, how useful this is for the upcoming year, specifically for planning out your business to align with the energies that are naturally going to be occurring in 2023. So if you don't know Robin, I'm going to let her introduce herself.
I am Robin Langford. I am a fate and free will coach. I blend traditional astrology and Stoic philosophy to help people change their lives.
Awesome. And so what do we need to know about 2023 as business owners?
It is, yeah, it's a massive shift in a bunch of different ways. There are so many planets making huge changes that whatever you think about 2023 going in is probably going to be very different than the way it ends up, unless you're already working with an astrologer that's given you a preview of your chart. Like, honestly, it's just, there's so many changes. And I created the same kind of chart that I did last year because you liked it so much. Do you want me to share my screen, or do you want me to just look at it?
I'm going to let you share. So everyone, if you're listening on the podcast, we're going to be posting this entire video on YouTube so you can watch Robin go through the full chart of all the astrology. As a visual person who likes calendars, this is incredibly useful for my brain. So go ahead, share screen, Robin.
Okay. And I only did this because I knew that about you. So do you want me to just go through chronologically? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, let's just jump through, start and go through the entire year, and then we can return back on things and like look for themes and stuff.
Okay, cool. So everybody thinks about the new year beginning on January 1st, but this year that is not true. In fact, it's very rarely true that the astrological energy aligns with that. But this year it's especially not true. So you're going to want to do a lot of new things because of the Capricorn new moon that's coming up if you're listening to it like right now. But Mars is going to be retrograde, Mercury is going to be retrograde, Uranus is going to be retrograde. And so I'm calling the January 1st to January 22nd period a ramping up period because of that. Because on January 12th, Mars retrograde ends. On January 18th, the Mercury retrograde ends. On January 21st, we have the Chinese Lunar New Year. And then January 22nd, the very last planet, Uranus, goes direct. And so at that point, January 22nd, it's all systems go for about 88 days, right? Because everything will be direct. And so from January 22nd to March 6th, there's really nothing that's going to stop you from doing whatever you want to do. Everything's just kind of lovely. There are the individual, like little minor things that we'll talk about during weekly astrological calls, but overall that period, and if you're looking at this, you'll see there's literally nothing on there because it's kind of boring, not, but in a nice, productive way, right? Like, so if you want to launch something, that's when you're launching it as a business owner. March 7th through April 6th is when massive change is going to happen. And the first thing that's going to happen is Saturn is going to move into Pisces. And it's been in Aquarius since 2020. And so it's a big shift. And Saturn has been in its own sign. So it was in Capricorn and then it was in Aquarius. So I want to say almost 5 years that Saturn's been very Saturnian. And now Saturn's going to be a little Jupiterian, but with Neptune in the mix, right? And so what happened this past year was we had Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces for an extended period. As a matter of fact, as we're recording this, Jupiter is in the very last stages of Pisces, and it's been very nebulous, right? So wherever you have Pisces, it's in your chart. It's been a little bit foggy, and I'm going to pull up something that I'm not going to share on my screen just so that I can look at the exact dates for you. So Neptune has been in Pisces since April of 2011. Okay. And Neptune diffuses wherever it's at. It confuses, it makes it foggy, it makes it much more nebulous, tenuous, all of those things. And so Saturn's going to come in there and going to bring structure to that area of your chart, no matter where it is, in a very Saturnian way. So if you like Saturn, it's what a lot of people want to call adulting. And that's what's going to happen in that area of your life over the next several years. And Saturn will be in Pisces from March 7th of 2023 until February 13th of 2026. Now, I just want you to think about that period, 2023 to 2026, because in 2026, something very interesting is going to happen, which is Saturn and Neptune are going to move out of Pisces and into Aries. So Saturn and Neptune are going to move out of Pisces and into Aries. So Saturn and Neptune are going to be co-present together in a single sign for about 6 years. And that's very unusual. And it's going to be a desire to dream big, a desire to do things like that are very spiritual, very artistic, very, very hard to define, right? Because Neptune wants to destroy boundaries and Saturn wants to build them. And so there's going to be that kind of tension in those two areas of your life, and Pisces first and then Aries. And I personally am very excited about it because I'm tired of the nebulousness of Pisces. I am tired of it. I want there to be structure in that area of my life. And I kind of think it'll be delightful for Aries, for Saturn going through Aries, to be there with Neptune, because it'll take kind of the edge off. And
But that's not until 2026, right?
That's true. But the reason that it matters is because you're going to have that. Yeah, but Saturn going into Pisces is going to be a completely different experience for people who have been dealing with the Pisces area of their chart just being kind of an acid trip, sort of. But it's interesting because Saturn and Neptune together, they're just going to be moving together. And it's just going to be very hard for people to know what they want their boundaries to be and to enforce those boundaries, because it's going to be changing all the time. And so that's a 6-year transit, and it's just going to change signs and houses. And I'm excited, and I'm also a little nervous. And when I say it's going to be a massive shift.
That sounds hilarious, of like Saturn, the master of boundaries, and Neptune, the opposite of boundaries, like in constant communication for the next 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yes. So this is all happening in the first quarter, or the first season of 2023. And I did have a question, just I'm going backwards in time. For January, you kind of said that January doesn't really start 2023. Is that because it starts in the middle of January, or because it starts in the middle, like at the end of December?
No, it doesn't start until January 22nd.
Okay, great. So January 22nd, if you guys hear that, if you are unclear about your 2023 goals and you're trying so hard to set them, it sounds like that is totally astrologically relevant, where actually you might not know and be clear on things until January 22nd. Is that right, Robin?
Yes. And it might even be into February, honestly, before you're really clear, as Mercury and Mars really start picking up speed, because Mars has been retrograde since October, and Mercury is the ruler of where Mars is because he's in Gemini, and everything's about to just be very, very confusing. And we're probably going to have a lot of tech issues. Yeah. And
we're having tech issues today. I'm like, we had to postpone this call. It's kind of if you're listening to this in real time, it's, I think, December 22nd when this podcast episode is coming out, and we're recording it December 19th. And all day today, I've had fine weather. I mean, the past few days have been like crazy storms, but all day today, it's been fine weather, literally up until the exact moment we were expected to record. And I was just like, oh my God, you're kidding me. It's so bad. And Robin was saying it has to do with something with Mars and something in Mercury, something.
Yes.
Can you say what the actual line is? Because I'm sure people are like, what's happening with this Mars retrograde and why does it feel so intense right now?
Yeah, so the Mars is in Gemini and Mercury rules Gemini. Mercury is going retrograde, or is in a shadow period right now. It goes retrograde on the 29th of December, I think. And as it goes haywire, it's amplifying the retrogradiness of Mars. And so, and Gemini has a lot to do with tech. Mercury has a lot to do with tech. And so with all of that tech energy being interfered with, I have seen all sorts of just random messed up tech packages that are like getting taken to the post office and just not being processed, medical stuff going haywire, emails getting sent to the wrong people, text, just kind of disappearing, Zoom being absolutely bananas, all of the things. And yeah, I anticipate that just sort of ramping up. And what I've been telling people is just implement your Mercury retrograde protocols like right now and just keep them until the end of January. Don't, if you can, right? Like don't buy new tech. If you're going to sign contracts, make sure you read them thoroughly and have somebody else read them for you. Do your, Mercury remediation oils. I love it. That's Sphere and Sundry, right? That's what that bottle looked like to me.
Yes, I don't even know what it is. I just remember you giving it to me, I think, and it being like something with Mercury. I'm like, okay, perfect time right now.
Yes, I have mine that sits right next to me for when I have to write.
This smells alcoholic, which makes me think I'm supposed to consume it, but I don't
see
the label.
No, it goes on your body. Don't drink it.
I'm afraid.
Don't drink it. Put it on your body.
Shots of mercury oil right now, you guys.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not. Okay, so moving on. Pretty much end of January to March 6th. So that's like it's a 6-week period where things are just quote unquote boring, clear sailing, nothing really happening. So it's lovely, a lovely sunny day. Mm-hmm. And so if people are planning launching for the first quarter of the year, just pretty much avoid January up until January 22nd and plan your launches for February. Yeah. Okay.
February, March, and April February and March are pretty much fine. I have March 7th to April 6th over on its own little row because there's so many flipping huge changes that it's going to feel like being on a roller coaster a little bit, because Saturn's going to go into Pisces on March 7th. On March 23rd, Pluto is going to go into Aquarius, and Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. It's a long time. It's 15 years, right? And this is going to be a little preview of what Pluto in Aquarius is going to be like. So Pluto is going to be in Aquarius from March 23rd to June 11th, and that's a preview. But the main event is going to be November 2024 to January of 44. It's a 20-year period.
There's something that sounds scary to me about Pluto and Aquarius, because aren't they both pretty disruptive things?
I'm a little disruptive.
A little disruptive.
Yeah. So think about Saturn and Aquarius, whatever that's been like for you. It's going to be like, that was kind of the appetizer for Pluto and Aquarius. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to, it's a little bit out of the frying pan into the fire, because Saturn's going to leave Aquarius to go into Pisces. And so like all the Aquarius placements are going to have a really great couple of weeks in March where there's nothing messing with them. And that's going to feel fantastic for them for about 2 weeks. And then it's going to go away because Pluto's going to enter. And he's going to be there from March until June. And then they're going to have June until January of next year off, where they get that nice little breather space. So all of you Aquarius risings, Aquarius suns, Aquarius midheavens, any kind of Aquarius placements, I know it's been challenging, and you're going to get a little breather, and then so that you can kind of adjust to all the lessons that you've had over the last 3 years. And then when Pluto starts interacting with Aquarius more significantly, it's going to create, the key word for Pluto is transformation, right? And it's going to create transformation in that area of your house in a very deep, profound type of way.
So for March 7th through April 6th, you have it in green, but you also have it as massive change. Is this still an okay promotion period, or is it something where things are going to be really uneasy and people? No,
it's very much going to depend on it's going to very much depend on your chart. Some people are going to love the changes. Some people are not going to love the changes. Just like some people love roller coasters and some people don't. And so I put massive change there because I don't want you to think that it's part of that boring part. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be very interesting. There's going to be a lot of chaos and and change, but not scary. Not even, I mean, like not even, I have no subjective opinion about the type of change because it's completely neutral. It's just going to be very different.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that's adding to that is March 25th, Mars is going to go into, is going to leave Gemini. I have go into, but it's going to leave Gemini. And it's been there since August. So it's been there for like 7 months. And so that's going to be another giant energetic change for people. And so it's not good or bad. And you're totally fine to do launches and to start new things. I mean, it's a lot of people are going to start a lot of new things because there's going to be so many energy shifts, right? But I do have my clear sailing section and then my massive change section because it's not going to be gentle. You're not going to miss it. You're not going to be like, March was so boring in 2023. That's not going to happen.
Okay. Yay. Okay. So next on the plate, I see this big red eclipse zone, but it doesn't look like a long time period. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's April 7th to May 18th. And that's actually a little before and a little after each eclipse because there's a buildup and a letdown. But that period, April 20th to May 14th, I mean, I wouldn't launch anything. Honestly, May 7th to May 18th, I'm sorry, April 7th to May 18th, I'm launching absolutely nothing, be in a bunker somewhere, not really, but it's 2 eclipses. There's an Aries and a Scorpio eclipse, and there's a Mercury retrograde in Taurus. And so that Mercury retrograde in Taurus is going to be triggering all of the Taurus Scorpio eclipses that have been happening over the last 2 years, right? It's going to be having you review that Taurus area of your life, which is actually a good thing because like as soon as we hit May 16th, some nice stuff happens. But that's going to be very, very focused on you integrating the lessons that you learned from your eclipses of the last 2 years. Yeah. So, but there aren't any eclipses in Taurus for this series, right? It's Aries, which is a brand new place, a brand new eclipse series. And it's a preview of the eclipses that are about to start happening because the nodes are still going to be in Taurus and Scorpio. And then that May 5th eclipse is a wrapping up of Scorpio topics. So I would really and truly consider April 7th to May 18th to be more of a review, integrate, and revise period. And not, I am never going to say don't do something without looking at your chart. Like I'm never going to do that because sometimes people have things in their chart that indicate that it would be fine. And there are all sorts of ways that you can use that energy, but none of which are productive for business purposes. And I personally will not be manifesting, will not be launching, will not be signing, will not be going on first dates, like none of the stuff. I'm going to sit, I'm going to work, I'm going to review. That's what I'm going to do for that period.
But luckily that was such a short period and it goes into something nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited about the nice change because like I just said, I wanted people to be reviewing their Taurus and Scorpio houses and sort of looking at what they want to change in their Aries house because that's what your preview is. But on May 16th, Jupiter, right, Santa Claus in the sky, goes into Taurus. Okay. And so he's going to be there from May 16th of 2023 to May 25th of 2024. And he is going to help clean up the debris left over from all of the Taurus Scorpio eclipses, especially in your Taurus house, and help you move forward in a very Jupiterian way, which it's going to feel like, you know, when you get a sunburn and you get aloe and you put the aloe on the sunburn. That's what Jupiter and Taurus is going to do for all of your Taurus placements. It's lovely.
I have nothing in Taurus and it's in my 12th house. So I have negative feelings towards Taurus.
Yes.
As a side comment. It's like,
yeah,
whatever.
but any of the isolation that would have come from or like any kind of spiritual crisis that would have come from a Taurus 12th house placement where the eclipses were happening, you're going to find like purpose. You're going to find probably a new spiritual practice that you really enjoy, that type of thing. And so it doesn't matter where, like it literally doesn't matter where Taurus is in your house. Jupiter's going to make that house better. 100%.
Amazing. Hear that? Go find Taurus in your chart, you guys. Figure out what house it's in.
and it's even better because right after that you get a new moon. So like whatever it is that you've been working towards over the last 2 years and thinking about that you wanted to do in your Taurus house, that new moon is is just flipping beautiful for it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. And then, so then the other things that are super interesting in June, and I have it in orange if you're looking at it, because it's when a planet turns direct or stations retrograde, it's more of that energy, especially if it's an outer planet. And so June 17th, we have a Saturn turns retrograde, and on the same day, the Gemini new moon. And so Mars is out of Gemini, but this Saturn retrograde, there's something about everything that you learned, right? That everything that happened in your Gemini house that is, I would have to look at everybody's individual charts, but the way that Gemini and Pisces are configured together makes me think that you're still going to be integrating and processing whatever Mars has done to your Gemini house for the last 7 months. And that new moon is probably going to be that period for people.
Just for basic math, 7 months ago for Mars was
August.
When was that? August. Okay, so it started in August. Oof. That's interesting. I have a side comment with that in my head. Personal thoughts.
Well, I mean, if you want to type them in so that I can read them.
I'm quickly interrupting this episode to say that if you are tired of scraping by and you're ready to have more than enough money, clients, and freedom in your business, I'm sharing the exact same process I used to triple my business revenue and start creating consistent 5-figure months in Monetize Your Magic. Monetize Your Magic is the 12-week online program for finally creating the financial freedom you've been craving without feeling burnt out or compromising your intuition. If you desire a business that makes you 6+ figures a year and gives you your time back, because let's be real, most of us started our businesses wanting more freedom, not to be chained to a desk, this is the best place to start. You can learn more about Monetize Your Magic at the link in the show notes or by going to thedirtyalchemy.com/MYM. And because you're a podcast listener, we have a special discount code for you. You can use podcast at checkout for $250 off the entire price of Monetize Your Magic. So go check that out, and let's get back to the episode. Oh no, I was just thinking that August was right when we were doing all of our, starting to go through the application process for buying the land that we just bought. And it's been for a while now. We've been like signing, applying, now moving, now settling. So that feels like the direct thing for me of Mars and Gemini, which is also how it is in my chart. Like I'm in Gemini rising with Mars conjunct. So anyways,
you're very personal identity changing, right? From somebody who rents to somebody who owns property and all of those things.
So that's what's on my mind, you guys. And then Mars in Virgo, that's a happy thing on July 10th.
I mean, for me, because Mars is going to be in Cancer up until then, and Mars in Cancer is not his favorite place to be. Mars in Virgo is a little more practical, a little more grounded. I mean, Mars in Cancer, everybody's going to be super happy when Mars gets the heck out of Gemini, just because it's been there for freaking ever. And I had that over here on the 25th of March, but it'll be even nicer when it goes into Virgo. It's just a nice placement. The other big change between May 16th and July 21st is on July 17th, the North Node and the South Node move signs. And so the North Node is going to go into Aries. It's going to put an increased focus in the Aries part of your chart. And the South Node is going to move into Libra, and that's going to put an increased focus in the Libra area of your chart. So volume up in Aries, volume down a little bit in Libra. But in practical terms, so like for me, I have the Libra in the 1st and Aries in the 7th. It probably means that in order to go into partnership with somebody, I'm going to have to let go of some of my past stories and my past identity beliefs. And that's how those tend to work out. And that'll just be whatever axis it happens to be in your chart. It doesn't mean that something bad's going to happen in Libra and something good is going to happen in it just means that that's going to be the focus, a very prominent focus of your life for the next 2 years or so. And so it's a nice change, right? Because everybody who's been getting hammered in Scorpio and Taurus is like, yes, please, 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 for the love of all that is holy, get that away from me, right? Like they're done with it. They're tired. They're tired of that focus. And I understand because I'm a Scorpio sun, right? And I have a stellium in Scorpio. Unfortunately, I'm Libra rising, right? So these eclipses are not done with me yet. And I'm still excited. I'm still excited because I've enjoyed the eclipses so far. They've been great for me. The Scorpio Taurus, which you know, because you just told me I told you so. All part of it.
Yup. Inside jokes, you guys. So what is the yellow in this chart? So I'm seeing from July 22nd to August 22nd, and then August 23rd till September 22nd.
I'm squeaky.
I just see yellow, Leo, and Virgo. Is that just like neutral energy? Nothing of note? It's not green.
It's not green, but it's also not orange or red, not all of it.
Yeah.
It depends on your chart. If you have heavy Leo placements or heavy Virgo placements, you're going to feel it. All right. Because
in a good way or a bad way?
I mean, it depends on your relationship to Mercury and Venus. And the reason I say that is because July 22nd. So I'm basically July 22nd to August 22nd is Leos are getting all the attention because the sun will be moving into Leo on the same day that Venus goes retrograde in Leo. All right. And then we have a full moon and a new moon in that axis. And so that's very all attention on the Leo house of your chart. Wherever that is, whatever Leo is for you, you're going to be rethinking the ever-loving daylights out of it in a very Venusian way from July 22nd until September 3rd, because that's where Venus is going to be retrograde. That's going to be highlighted. It's going to be extra intense between July 22nd and August 22nd, because that's when the sun is also going to be there. And so the Leo area of your chart, or if you have a heavy Leo placement, you're about to undergo a recalibration of your values, of what you want, of how you attract it. And if you don't have heavy Leo placements, you're going to have that experience in your Leo house, even if you have nothing else in it. And so let's say you have Leo in the 6th house, you're going to be thinking about 6th house topics, which are pets, health, your obligations, your employees, that sort of thing. And you're going to be rethinking what you want to attract, what you highly value, what you desire in that area. And
you guys, if you don't know what we're talking about with houses, it's very simple, but it's definitely not, it's beyond like the sun, moon, rising simplicity. So all you have to do is go to I like astro.com.
Oh.
Okay. You like AstroSeek? Okay.
I've
never used it. Okay.
So good.
Okay, so go to AstroSeek or astro.com and pull up your chart. It's completely free, and whole signs is easier if you just, there's an option of like, how do you want your chart to pop out? And there'll be a whole signs option. And when it comes out, it just means that your chart is cut into equal not quadrants, whatever the 12th version of quadrants, not the 4th, and then you're going to look at, okay, where I find, what is the Leo symbol, look up the Leo symbol and then see where it shows up on the chart, and there'll be a number. And that will be, so like, it'll be maybe Leo, there's a 12 next to Leo, it means your 12th house, or there's a 6 next to Leo, it's your 6th house. And then you can literally just Google online, what does the 6th house mean? What does the 12th house mean? And stuff like that. So that's my, not an astrologer explanation of how to find your houses. Do you like it, Robin?
I do like it. And it might be too complicated for some people, just because like synthesizing all of that can be challenging when you're first starting. So you can also just get on my email list, because I give out a forecast every single week, and I'm Wicked Veracity everywhere. And if you go to any of my stuff, you'll be able to find out how to get on my list. But I send out an email every single week. And whenever we have a big transit like this, I'll tell you the exact area of life based on your rising sign. So even if you find out nothing else, when you go look up your chart, just find your rising sign. And then no matter whose horoscope you listen to or read or watch, you want to pay attention from the rising sign.
That is another interesting thing around horoscopes. If you've ever looked up your horoscope, or you're on Instagram and there's like a message for the different signs of the zodiac, you don't actually want to look at your sun, or like you can't look at your sun, but you actually want to be looking at your rising sign, which I don't understand why they don't make more clear.
I mean, I do. I literally say it on all of my stuff.
I know. It's just like because horoscopes, you like look for them in the paper and everything when you're like a child. But anyways, So what
I
about
mean,
all this Virgo stuff? I'm a Virgo, so I'm selfishly interested. And there's like a bunch of cells filled into the spreadsheet. So it seems like August 23rd to September 22nd is hot.
well, it's just very hot for Virgos, right? Just like this period is
Right.
very hot for or Virgo placements. Like I have nothing in Virgo. I'm anticipating this
Mhm.
period to be, and Virgo's my 12th house. So
Mm,
I feel kind of the way
mm.
you feel about Taurus. And so
Uh-huh.
like this is going to be my hibernation period. I'm not even going to lie. Like I'm already planning to not be doing a lot of stuff then. But whatever your Virgo house is, you're just going to have a ton of focus there. It's not good. It's not bad. It's very neutral. That's the reason. Oh my goodness gracious. What did I just do? That's the reason it's yellow at the top is because I want you to be aware of it. Your Virgo and your Leo houses are about to get a lot of attention, and you're going to do a lot of rethinking those areas of your life. And if it's your 10th house, you're probably not going to be launching something new. If it's your 10th, your second, or your sixth, you're probably not going to be initiating new things. If you're my client, I'm going to be like, no, you're not. No. But if it's somewhere else in your chart, you're probably not even going to notice as far as it relates to your business. But it's interesting. So I put it up.
Mhm. Awesome. And then we go from this yellow period into a red period, huh?
Yeah.
Not too long though.
Yeah, none of the eclipses, I mean, the eclipse windows are very short. It's usually like about 3 weeks. And this one isn't horrible. I mean, it's going to be very eclipsy from October 11th to November 7th. I'm not going to launch anything during that period. That's a no launch zone. Anything that's in red, if you're looking at my chart, is unless other things in your chart indicate, you shouldn't be initiating new things. But it's a short window. Like you said, it's not even a full month. And you can do stuff then. And when I say don't initiate new things, what I mean is for optimal results and peace of mind, don't, right? But you can initiate new stuff and it's just not going to go the way that you think it's going to go. And you might have more difficulty getting it done. But I'm not saying that if you initiate something, it's the death of whatever that is, right?
So what's the best way to use October 11th through November 7th?
Best way would be to review everything that went on in your Scorpio house, kind of like how you were going to review stuff for Taurus during the April 7th to May 18th. I would be reviewing your Scorpio house and for the first half and your Taurus house for the second half, and thinking about what changes you want in your Libra house. And so really it's just, what do you want? It's really just a reflection and review. What do you want going forward? And what lessons have you learned over the last 2 years, which is going to be very specific to rising sign and what that recommendation would be. But for business purposes, right? My business purposes is you're not launching anything then, if you can avoid it.
Okay. And then right on its heels, we have the teeniest, tiniest blip of green.
I mean, it's almost a month. It's November 8th to November 30th. And there's just a lot of very new energy. And so all that Scorpio review stuff that I would have had you do, there's going to be a Scorpio new moon that has no ties to the eclipses on the 13th. And so whatever your Scorpio house is, you have been renovating the heck out of it for the last 2 years, right? And that's the best first new beginning without any eclipses tied to it. And it's just very lovely. You got Mars in Scorpio, which is its ruler. It's a lovely new beginning for Scorpio placements. So where's your Scorpio? Oh, so your Scorpio house is your 11th house? No, that's not right. No, it's your 6th house. It's your 6th. I don't know what's wrong with me. So that might be like a new beginning with a pet. It could be new health habits. It could be you hiring new employees. It could be all sorts of, but like really nice, very practical things that would maybe have been more challenging over the last 2 years.
Okay. And then in terms of business, it would just be you find what house Scorpio is in your chart. And that's really where the new beginnings are really going to be between November 8th and November 30th. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also just yes, that's where the new beginnings will be, but it's also a great time to just, if you have something like you want to do a Black Friday sale, it's going to be a really great time for it. Because it's all of the stuff's doing nice, lovely things. There's nothing really challenging in November overtly. And so if you wanted a fall launch period, it's a good one.
Okay. And then we're into the end of the year, huh? Sorry. You said because what?
Oh, because October's kind of off limits.
Yeah.
We're going to avoid
Which is
October.
funny. I know other astrologers who are not anti-eclipse at all. So this is definitely like Robin's shade of astrology.
That's traditional astrology's shade of astrology.
Right. So
And
traditional astrology's shade of astrology, which is great for electional and stuff, but
yeah.
don't, if you're someone who wants to play with these areas or your intuition guides you to play with these areas, like it's not like this black and white thing.
Okay, so we're gonna just
Robin
disagree.
disagrees, but yeah. I know other astrologers who don't believe that, who are like very successful in their business and all these things. So I just want to throw that out there for
Am
listeners.
I right that they do chaos magic?
No.
They don't do chaos magic. Like a lot of chaos magicians who work with astrology like working with eclipse energy, or if they like more shadowy and like I said, it can be good for stuff. It can be. Feel free to investigate that and go with God. Like traditional astrology and traditional astrological magic, it's the kind of thing that you would use eclipses for tends to be nefarious. And I'm never going to advocate for that. So, but if I were going to advocate for it, but yes, there's a lot of modern astrologers who still consider it like a souped up new beginning, right? Like a new beginning on steroids. And that's definitely a viewpoint.
So we're into December.
Not that I'm strongly opinionated at all.
Stellium, no opinions.
No, yeah, I'm totally neutral. Yeah. I mean, December's a really nice review because when I said at the beginning of this year that January 1st is rarely the real beginning, except January 2024, it's actually January 1st, which is kind of cool because Mercury is retrograde from December 13th until January 1st, right? And so on January 1st of 2024, the only thing that's still retrograde is Uranus, and it's not going to slow people down. So 2024 is going to feel like an actual new beginning as opposed to the last couple of years, which has been sort of a slow ramp up. I would really consider most of December to be a review and reflection. There's nothing in there that would stop me from launching if I really wanted to, because Mercury retrograde isn't going to stop me from having a launch. I would probably begin prior to the Mercury retrograde, but I don't consider Mercury retrograde as a reason not to do stuff. I avoid it because I like for my tech to go as smoothly as possible, and it has a tendency to mess with tech. So like your landing page link's not working, or just annoying little things that aren't going to derail you, but just be irritating.
What a year.
It's actually kind of nice. I mean, it's a lot easier astrologically in a lot of ways than the last couple of years.
You think so?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I just see all the oranges and reds in this chart, and I'm like, oh no.
See, I think you just don't remember last year's chart, so
that could be it.
There you go. Like, do you see how much longer the red periods were?
Yeah.
April 20.
Yeah.
And there's not nearly as much green.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, looking back onto, so we did this. We did this last year with 2022, and I'm sure you've done some reviewing. How do you feel like the astrology panned out that was similar and different than what you expected as an astrologer?
Similar and different.
Or like both sides of it, because like some things pan out the way you expect and some don't, or like there's different, it happened the way the astrology said, but like in a way you didn't expect.
Yeah, I don't ever actually, I mean, I haven't actually done that for myself. I think if anybody listened last year, they know that I'm a huge fan of the Astrology podcast by Chris Brennan. And they do that every single month when they do their monthly forecast, which I tell everybody to go listen to because it's fantastic traditional interpretation. And I love it. And they'll actually delineate the month before all of the very literal things that happened. I will say that the Scorpio eclipses, I knew they were going to be big. And I wasn't prepared for just how impactful they were going to be for me personally. I'm looking at, I know they can't see what we're doing, but what I'm looking at right now is the 2022 map.
If you're on YouTube, you can see what we're doing. What that?
Okay. So if you're not on YouTube, head on over to YouTube so you can see the review.
Maybe you know what, I'm going to take screenshots right now and like at least put them in the show notes of this podcast. Boom.
Okay.
That's how we do the win-win.
So there's the 2022. Here's 2023 if you want to take a screenshot. Yeah, Mercury retrogrades hit me harder, but that was because I had a Time Lord thing going on. There was some very on point stuff with the Ukrainian-Russian conflict. And I know that a lot of the Roe v. Wade stuff that we had talked about, like we knew that something was coming because of some of the stuff early on, and I still think it's going to end up being okay. I think it's going to end up with more rights just because of the way that it started. But that was some stuff that was a little too literal. The very beginning of the year, I had said that February 3rd was the beginning of 2022. Like we lost most of January because Venus was retrograde, and that Venus retrograde had a lot to do with the Roe v. Wade. January started so slow for me and for almost everybody that I know, and there was just a lot of women's rights issues, which is to be expected. And I think this.
And how literal with Venus retrograde and the Roe v. Wade stuff. It's like crazy.
It is.
Venus being retrograde and like that going backwards.
Well, in Capricorn conjunct Pluto, right? Yeah. And so that was probably my most literal one, other than some of the Ukrainian stuff. The Venus retrograde in Leo, I think, will probably be a development in that last Venus retrograde. And there'll be something that happens around women's rights and women.
The one in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there'll be something around here, July 22nd,
which is 3rd. Yeah.
With that Venus retrograde in Leo, because Leo is very right. And it's going to be extra. It's going to be extra Gryffindor because the sun's going to be there too. And there's going to be some conjunctions between the sun and Venus during that period. And I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be very champion, I think it'll be interesting. And I think it'll have to do with women's rights, because it's Venus, right? But I'm hopeful. I was hopeful. I've been hopeful this whole year that freedom isn't going to go away. Right?
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful. And it's been challenging because it didn't happen as quickly as I had hoped it would. But yeah. I think in the long term, it's going to be okay. In the short term, I think it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
For personal rights in general. For a lot of reasons, but not sometimes. So I don't know if anybody remembers, but I'm also a historian and I taught history for a really long time. And the greatest revolutions and the greatest changes and the greatest pushes forward always come from something really bad happening. And from a loss of privileges and a loss of rights. And there's a massive shift coming in a couple of years, like which is going to be building, like with all these shifts that I was just talking about. Like it's going to be. Is that the 2025 craziness? Yeah. And 2026. Like there's just a bunch of different stuff that's coming down the pipelines, and this is sort of like the period prior to the Revolutionary War, where people were deciding what they wanted to stand for and what they didn't want to stand for anymore. And it's or like during World War II, when America was very much prior to World War II, before America went into and joined the Allies, how they were deciding where their lines were, right? And so that's a lot of what's happening right now, is we're just deciding what's going to be important to us.
So how do we use our business to prepare for that?
Make a ton of money and support the causes you believe in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way you change the world. And people want to say money's evil. It's evil in the wrong hands, and it's a tool for good in the right hands. And so if you feel strongly about social justice, women's rights, anything, right? Make a ton of money and put it towards that. The environment, whatever it is, that's how you use your business, because I mean, that's how you change the world.
One way to change the world, but yes, a big way to change the world.
With your business. I mean, with your business.
With your business. Yeah.
Which is what you asked.
It was I was just clarifying the sound bite. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and no one business, not even Bill Gates, right? Like not Bill Gates, not whoever Amazon's dude is or Facebook's dude, right? None of them have enough money to change. Yeah, whatever. None of them have enough money to remake the world in their image, right? Even though they might try. And so sometimes it can feel like for entrepreneurs, like we don't have enough money no matter, because we're never going to have, well, not never, but there are very few people who are going to reach that level of monetary resources, right?
The multi-billions.
Right. But every little bit helps. And if you start local and start, working with your local government and so on and so forth, and supporting local change, that's the government teacher in me, right? Is that you support those candidates, and then you support your state candidates, and then you go up the food chain as you can. And the more influential you are as a business owner, the more of an impact you can have.
So what other messages do you have for us for 2023?
Buckle up. I'm excited. I'm so excited to get to experience something new with Saturn, something new with Jupiter, something new with Pluto. I think as long as I've been studying astrology, Pluto has, really studying it and not just as a hobby, Pluto has been in one place, right? And so I haven't got to play with Pluto in a different sign, right? I know Pluto in Libra because that's where it was born. That's like, I'm very familiar, but I wasn't really paying attention when it went to any of the others. Like when it went through Scorpio, when it went through Sagittarius, I wasn't focused on it. I wasn't paying active attention the way that I have been with it in Capricorn. And I find that sort of thing very interesting from an experiential point of view. And the same thing with Saturn. Saturn has been in a Saturn ruled sign for my entire professional astrological career, right? And so, because I remember one of the first things that we did together was Saturn going into Capricorn. Do you remember that?
I do remember that workshop.
And so it's just been a very Saturn-y Saturn, right? And Saturn in Pisces is just a very different vibe, and it's much less heavy. And people like planets in their rulership because they function so well. And that's great. But sometimes you want that highly functioning energy in a totally different area of your life, right? And Saturn's been doing stuff to my family and my fifth house stuff. Like, that's not a fun place for me to have Saturn. Like, I want Saturn in my sixth house. Yes, please. I want systems and structures in my sixth house and less around all of my home, children, pleasure-y things, right? So I'm excited. And I think if people look at it that way, as opposed to, oh no, all the doom and gloom and the change, right? Like, it's an exciting adventure. It's not a scary adversity, I guess would be my message.
Love it. Awesome. Well, I'm excited for 2023. Oh, wait, that was a big thunderclap.
The sky gods are also excited.
It's been nuts. It's been like full house rumbling thunder.
Oh wow, I couldn't
You
hear
can't
it at all.
hear it, but it's it's not loud, but it's like long and deep.
All righty then.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Robin. This has been really fun. I always love hearing the energy that we can look forward to in the year, and you're so good at it. So thank you for being here. And for people who want to work with you in all the ways that you share your value, where can they find you? How can they go deeper?
So I have a free workshop on working with the moon in a way, and I put it together in a way that is really easy and tangible, and you can see change immediately. And you can get that at wickedveracity.com/workshop. That's one of my free offerings that people really seem to love. They can also listen to the podcast. I do a weekly podcast where I do a forecast, and that's the Wicked Veracity podcast. And in 2023, there will be 2 podcasts every week, so they'll get even more of that. And I do have a digital astrology calendar. If you love astrology, if you want to know where the moon is, if you want to know where the planets are, if you want to be able to see it all on your digital calendar, you can get that at wickedveracity.com/calendar.
Awesome. Thank you. And you guys have a lovely week. We'll see you next week for the final podcast of the year. So we're closing up and we're ending up with 2022. Thank you so much for being with us today. And for all of 2022. And please tell us what you're most excited about with the astrology. You can head on over to Instagram at The Dirty Alchemy or at Wicked Veracity to give your favorite bits of 2022 and favorite bits of the 2023 podcast. Bye, guys.